Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and their professional teams struggle to find great capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy. Using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way to exit highly appreciated assets tax deferred so you can create, preserve, and grow your wealth. I'm your co-host, Pearson York, filling in for Brett Swarts. And each episode, I'm joined by some of the best wealth, business, real estate, and leadership individuals in the world. Share ideas, deal stories, and inspirations so together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. As always, we're streaming on expertcresecrets.com, the Capital Gains Tax Solutions YouTube channel as well. So please rate, review, subscribe, like, comment, and share on all of that. So really helps us out. We really appreciate it. I want to introduce our next guest. She's been in the business for the last 5 years, a speech pathologist turned commercial investor. And so we are going to have a fantastic conversation. Please help me welcome Esther Reizes-Lowenbein. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So Esther, tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
All right. My background is short. I graduated as a speech language pathologist in 2007. I was practicing for about 10 years or so. And I decided to pivot into real estate. I initially joined residential, and then I never intended on joining residential, but I did, and then went straight into commercial as a realtor, investor, and capital connector.
Awesome. So just kind of going through some of your profiles, it looks like you have a fund that you manage. You're also a GP in some different assets, as well as with eXp Realty. So we can kind of dive into a little bit of all of those things. But I really want to just kind of take a step back and ask you, one or two strengths or spiritual gifts that you have that have led you to be successful today.
Number one, I am a serial networker. So that's my gift that I have. I'm a natural extrovert. That's what pulled me into real estate. One of the reasons that pulled me in. So I do it. It's natural to me. I love connecting with people, and I think it's all people related business. So that's number one. And number two, I believe that giving charity has helped me gain much success and brought me to where I am.
Awesome. Okay. So networking and giving back. So basically providing value to others, making sure that, you're actually doing something with the connections you're making. That's pretty important because a lot of people don't do anything with the connections they make. I know I'm guilty of that. So how do you, so what's the number one secret to leveraging your network and to making sure that network is super strong?
It's a tough one because as your network grows, it becomes more difficult to maintain closer relationships with so many people. But right now it became so crazy that I had to hire someone to help me do that. So I have someone helping me manage my CRM and manage my contacts. Obviously, the people that I'm doing business with currently, I'm in touch with on a daily basis, and we follow up. But it's everyone else that I need the help. So yes, I have someone now on my team helping me with that.
What does that actually look like? What does their day-to-day look like? How do they manage your CRM? What are they doing? Are they building automation systems? Are they just reaching out to them personally? How are you operating that?
So that's a good question, but because I'm only in the business for about 4 or 5 years, and my business keeps on evolving, and I keep on adding on more stuff, so everything keeps on evolving. So as of now, he is helping me just manage the CRM. Basically, I deal with many investors that are looking for investments in various assets, locations, price tags. So we kind of have to write down everyone's criteria. And when an opportunity comes about, I go out and see which investor would fit that profile. So we're pretty much mixing and matching. So long as we have everyone's criteria clearly written down in the CRM. So he's taking my notes and converting them to the CRM. And from there, he's matching to see whose profile fits what investment.
Let me walk you through a situation. You're at a networking event, a meetup, whatever, right? How do you connect with somebody, and then like bring them through the conversation that you have with them, extract all the information, and then implement it into the CRM? What is that process for you?
So networking events are actually hard because while you're talking to people, it's hard to sit down and jot down some notes. So that actually is, that can sometimes be not so beneficial, because when I'm on the networking floor, I'm like, I'm a networking
Your
machine.
butterfly.
Yeah, I'm running from one person to the next, and I love it. It gives me energy. So I'm not necessarily sitting down and writing notes, and I often do forget what many people do. It's more like phone calls that I have, or emails that I'm, conversing with people, where I'm able to sit down and write down and jot down something. That's my better. That's where that's where my notes are better taken.
Okay, so you're not actually taking notes at like a meetup event or a networking event or anything like that. Are you just exchanging contact information and following up with them later and then collecting that information? Is that how you do that?
Yes, we do exchange cards, and then hopefully follow up as much as possible afterwards.
Okay. What is your process for taking your notes and immediately like giving them to your CRM manager? How do you communicate what you're doing with them?
So he has my password to my notes, and just gets them automatically as soon as I speak to an investor or an equity provider. He has someone that he sees my notes, and then he'll convert it automatically. So there's no communication, just automatic.
Okay, so you basically just gave me your password and you're like, hey, like anytime I put a note in here, it's gonna notify you, it's gonna pop up. So you're not using like a Notion or a Trello or a Asana or any sort of like system like that where you're um, you know, having like a communication between you two. It's just
No, it's just so far it's just the two of us. So
okay.
it's not like I'm a major company as of yet. Although I've done pretty significant numbers, just myself.
Yeah.
I was doing all this till now on my own, but now it's gotten to a point that I had to hire someone, and it's growing rapidly. We've done crazy numbers, so it's who knows what the future might bring. But right now it's just the two of us. It's obviously my commercial real estate notepad that I have on my phone. So everything that's in there is commercial real estate related, and so as soon as something comes in, he puts it straight into the CRM. But
What application is that?
just nothing fancy, Evernote. But
Okay.
for the funds, we have our own portal that we use for the fund managing. That's a whole different.
Animal.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. All right, so you're using Evernote. You've got him linked up with that. He automatically get notifies when a new note is created, and then he transfers it directly into the CRM.
correct.
And what CRM do you use?
Right now, HubSpot. I think he wants to change.
Interesting. Okay. All right, cool. That was a nice little detour. Thanks for that. That's
Sure.
super interesting because it was like it's something I've been honestly struggling with, is trying to figure out how to manage the CRM, because if you don't work it, it's useless. So
It takes so much time just to get started. Like I hired this person several months ago, and we're still just like building systems to get things working. This is just one thing I do. So it takes so much time, and just to organize, he had to organize my life, because I just started backing up a bit. I started this whole thing as a hobby. I
okay.
just got into real estate. I just wanted something more. I wanted to feel more fulfilled. So I wasn't getting that from speech therapy at the time. And there were also other reasons that I switched. We moved at the same time. But I started all of this as a hobby. So when I started as a hobby, I didn't intend to be so professional, and I never thought that I would get to where I am. So it started like literally like taking notes and, just jotting them down. And now it's turned into a business. So now we're getting more organized and more professional and building systems, and it's taking a lot of time, but we're going to get there slowly.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things that I wanted to kind of just, kind of touch on really quick is, what are some of the things that you're doing to grow your business? What's the number one secret to your growth?
Oh, nonstop. It's like nonstop hustle. That's one. Don't stop networking. Don't stop hustling. Cannot be lazy. No excuses. Just keep on going and grinding. That's it. and a lot of faith.
A lot of faith. Okay, what is the what are you doing right now to? Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of all the stuff that's going on in the economy and all that kind of stuff. How are you preparing for the looming, recession, all that kind of stuff? How's the market impacted your business? What are you doing to kind of pivot off of that? Tell us a little bit about your strategies right now.
It's affecting everyone, whether
Yeah.
people are saying it or not. It's affecting everyone. One of my deals are having trouble right now because the rate that the GP took is, was a floating rate, so we're having issues with that one. I'm sure everyone in the business is having some issues on some level, whether it's existing properties they have or properties that they were under contract on and the rates jumped on them, or if they plan on refinancing, now is not the time, they can't do that, or even going out to purchase new properties. We're seeing issues in every single aspect. No one's immune right now, unless they have an unlimited amount of cash to put down on various properties.
Right.
We'll get there too. What am I seeing? So we're obviously going into deals on the investor level. We have to underwrite our deals and make sure that we have a significant cushion, meaning we're only looking at certain cap rates at this point. If it's existing properties that are cash flowing, obviously, if it has great potential, we'll look at it differently. So we have definite higher standards than we had before. That's just one way we're looking at it. On the equity side, it's definitely harder than it was just 6 months ago. I think people just got very nervous and they didn't even know what to do, so they just paused and stopped investing. Now people there's still people that are investing, but it's not the same. The investors want higher rates. The investors want to see the debt that the sponsors are taking on. There's so many more factors now that people are looking at more carefully than before.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. What asset classes are you guys investing in right now? And has that changed at all?
So personally, we purchase office, industrial, triple net retail properties. We have found some higher cap rates. So we got lucky. We actually closed on a property. I think the last property we closed on was about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we got lucky with that. Thank you. We have some under contract. We're hoping that they all go through. Easily. Those are our assets. But I connect equity for other sponsors in all assets, all locations. But our team purchases office, industrial, triple net retail, most generally.
Okay, and has that shifted at all since this kind of like economic, shift?
What? Be more specific about your question. Like, what aspect?
I mean, so like back in 2019, right before the pandemic, right, office was a lot more. I would say.
Oh, you're saying before the pandemic versus
Yeah,
now?
like office was higher like value. I would say it's dropped, right? Like we got this whole live work from home
Right.
situation, right, where maybe office is not as desirable as it once was. A huge push into the multifamily space right now, as always, just because it's safer while lower returns. It's still considered a safer asset because it's a fundamental need. So you have those types of different things. Have you shifted your your investment class at all based upon the economic and socioeconomic factors that have happened in the last few years?
Well, COVID has definitely accelerated a lot of what was going to happen before. I think in terms of, say, office and retail, those were on a slight decline anyway. Right. I think COVID just accelerated that. We are still finding properties, even in these times. We've the team has closed on, I think it was 12 large commercial properties in 2021. And that's, after the high of COVID. It was still during COVID, but after the high, I guess the high was 2020, and then 2021, the team closed on 12 large properties. So we're still finding deals. Obviously, it's all location specific. You want to go into deals that have good tenants. It's a deal by deal situation. I always tell people It's not even a city by city situation. It's a block by block situation. And it's also a deal by deal situation. Who are your tenants? What type of building is it? What condition is the building in? Does it fit? What are the lease terms? So those are the aspects we're looking at, evaluating it on a per deal basis.
Yeah, and absolutely. Are you liquidating any deals right now or any assets?
We have one or two deals that we, if we'd get a good offer, we'd sell it, but not specifically.
And if you were to sell it, how would you handle the capital gains tax, or would there be a capital gains tax?
Oh, that's where you come in. Actually, I have no idea. My husband and his team take care of that. They're doing their things. I know that we put them in touch with the cost segregation, so they're taking care of. They're using that benefit. I think it's going to diminish going forward, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of the bonus depreciation starts titrating down a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't deal with the taxes, but I can definitely connect them to you.
Gotcha. So your main value is bringing the people together, and then you make your husband do all the actual stuff. And hey, this is what we.
And then I take credit for when the property.
And then you get all the credit. Well, you made it all happen, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm also a realtor, so some of the deals I actually source for the team, and then I hand them over, and then he takes care of it all. I only, like I said, take the credit when it closes.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So have you guys done a 1031 or anything like that? Or do you have investors that come in with 1031 money that, into your funds or anything like that you have to deal with?
Plenty. So just to clarify, I wear a few hats in the commercial real estate space. Number one, I'm a realtor. Number two, I'm an investor. That's more my husband's division. But I often source the deals. So I tell people that I'm an investor. I source the deals for the team. And then number three, I connect equity for other sponsors. Most of what I do is connect co-GPs and JVs. Okay. So yes, I'm dealing with a lot of 1031s. And I also have a fund where I raise from limited partners as well. So I wear several hats in the real estate space.
Sure. Okay, cool. And what's your biggest frustration with the capital gains, when it comes to the 1031?
Biggest frustration. I mean, for me, I don't find it frustrating. I find the good one. I find a client with the 1031, it just makes it easier to JV them, as a tick into the deal. The sponsors deal with the headaches directly. I just make the connection.
Very nice.
I'm super involved in the actual details of the JV and the 10, how they connect, but I just make the connection. And that's my role.
That's a really good place to be. You don't have to deal with all the back end paperwork.
Sounds easier than it is, though. Oh, I'm actually dealing with a situation right now. It's a 1031. It's just tough, like the negotiations back and forth and the connecting, and it's not as easy as it seems. People are like, "Wow, your job is so glamorous. It's amazing." I'm like, just come see the headache, for a minute. This podcast is actually such a relief right now because I'm dealing with 10 headaches, and I just shut my phone and I'm not looking at it. I'm talking to you. Thanks for the break.
You're super welcome. I'm glad that we could be of service with you. So, I mean. Yeah, and that's true too, right? Like, I think a lot of people think that a realtor's job, a connector's job, is someone who's like, basically the bridge between two parties is easy. If you're brokering a deal, like, it's a lot of work, and it's up and down constantly. Because I don't know if this is the same for you, but for me, the deal's on, and then the next day the deal's off, and then the deal's on, and then the deal's off, and then it's never going to close. But then it closes, right? So it's just like it's like a roller coaster, every deal. It's just, I've never had just a deal that's just like, hey, we're in contract, and like, hey, we're closed. It's done. Like, I've never had that before. It's always been some sort of issue where there's always fires, right? There's always people putting it out. And
I see it on all levels, as a realtor, as an investor, and as a capital connector. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it all over. And the amount of hours, that's what I tell people. Like, when they see, they're like, wow, the job is so glamorous. I want to do what you're doing. They tell me. I say, first of all, come watch me for a day and watch how much stress I go through every single day. That's number one. And number two, I tell people, like, if you ever want to switch your job, you have to love what you're doing, because the amount of hours I put into things that didn't work out, it's like, it's depressing to think about it. But, because I love what I do, I'm able to bounce back and just continue moving on to the next thing, because I love it and I'm ready to move on. I put that one to bed and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So you really have to love what you're doing in order to
live
this business, because it's brutal at times.
And one of the things is you might put a deal to bed and it wakes up in the morning. It's back on the table a few months, few years later. Like, deals just, I don't know, man. Deals just flow.
Deals.
It makes it fun. Deal flow, right? Like, it's a roller coaster ride, emotionally, physically. I'm exhausted sometimes after I get home, like from like talking with all these people trying to make something work, and it's just like, call this person.
Yeah.
Like, oh my word, like,
yeah,
it's frustrating, but you do have to love it. I mean, that's just the part of it. It's what makes your value.
Exactly.
So that's cool. Okay, so you do have some headaches with the 1031, right? People coming in, as with all deals. The reason why we brought that up is because we have a unique strategy, which might be really interesting for your husband if he's the one who deals with all the tax stuff, because you can sell an asset. It doesn't have to just be commercial. It could be a primary home. So if you're doing any sort of luxury out there, you're in New York, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're doing luxury in New York, it works for a primary home. It can work for a business, it work for stock, work for crypto. So anything that's highly appreciated, you can liquidate the asset and then reinvest the funds into a variety of different assets. It doesn't have to just be real estate like a 1031, and there's no time constraints. So they can go, liquidate their primary home, put, if it's, a $5 million sale, right, and they bought it for $1 million, they have $4 million gain. In New York, your tax is going to be really high. I don't know, 30 something percent at least. So, I mean, they're looking at, 1.2 million, give or take, rough numbers. So that's an extra 1.2 million they can use to invest. They could put, $1 million into your fund, and then they could put the other, $1 million into some ETFs and liquid grade securities, and then the other ones into some gold or whatever. They get to diversify cash flow, reposition their equity. It also helps break up syndications and stuff. So if you're going to move and you don't want to go with Johnny or whoever else is, in the deal that's, really rubbing you guys the wrong way, or he wants out, he's whatever he needs, he won't blow the deal up because you all have to move and he doesn't want to. So you have to buy him out and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of benefits to it. You guys can learn more about that by going to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. We also have a mastermind every Friday at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 1 p.m. Eastern. So definitely come check that out. It's every Friday. You can come ask questions, bring your financial advisors, your CPAs, your estate planners, real estate agents, and all that kind of stuff. So that's our plug for the day. You can do that, capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Okay, so Ezra, I'm sorry, Esther, we're getting into the point where we're kind of running out of time here. So I want to get you into the lightning round. So are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Cool. Okay. Esther, what is your favorite book?
Oosh, I don't have that much time to read, but I'm reading right now, The Power of Belief. It's actually right over here. It's called The Gates of Trust. And that was gifted to me by Yona Weiss.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite leadership quote?
Oh, good one. My favorite leadership quote. I'm all about giving. So it's like, ask not what you could do for ask not what someone can do for you. Ask what you could do for the next person.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is something that you're most curious about right now?
I'm curious of where the money is. Where's the money? Where's the money at? Looking for money. Help me find it.
It's getting drowned in the UK right now.
Is that it? In the UK or in Ukraine?
I don't know. Probably both. Oh, somewhere not in the United States. It's getting offshored.
We're looking for it. We're actually digging for gold, so maybe we'll find it.
Do you guys have an actual gold mining fund?
We're actually putting some money, towards that. So, if real estate doesn't come through nowadays, we'll go dig for gold.
That's super interesting. So I actually have a friend who is like really big into gold mining, and they are actually looking at buying a mining. I don't know if it's called a shaft or like I don't know what they call it, but like a gold mine, straight up a gold mine. Like they're just gonna go and start mining for gold. I was like,
where are they looking at?
I can't remember.
In the States or out of the States?
I think it's in the United States, and I can't remember where it is, but it's like a full blown, like, he was showing me pictures of like their actual like drills and stuff. Like, it's like no joke. They got like the full like fire hose deal. I don't know anything about gold mining. So I just know
curious where, because we're looking at something in the States too. We're in the States and out of the States as well.
Interesting. I'll have to connect you guys because that would be super interesting to see if they actually pull it off.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Cool. All right. Esther, any final words?
No, it's been a while since I've been on a podcast. So thanks for having me on. This is a lot of fun.
Welcome.
It's work has been like crazy, and we're just hoping things, settle with the rates and all that. That would make things a lot easier. And you can all reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to help connect you guys with equity, or if you have any deals to sell, we're looking to buy.
Awesome. Where can people connect with you?
I'm very active on LinkedIn. My account is Esther Reizes-Lowenbein. I'm on Instagram as ST-Lowenbein. You can go to my website, estherrises.com. I know I have a lot of names there. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm all over there. I'm on Facebook as ST Lowenbein. I'm on Twitter as ST Lowenbein, I believe. Find me anywhere.
Okay, so basically you can just Google search Esther Reizes-Lowenbein, and she'll pop up on all of the interwebs around there somewhere.
Pretty much. I've been on a lot of podcasts, so I'll come on.
Awesome. And you guys can connect with us if you guys are interested in getting started on learning more about the Deferred Sales Trust by going to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Register for the webinar. I'll definitely be inviting Esther on there so she can come on and network and connect. So look for her there. And thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and their professional teams struggle to find great capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy. Using a proven tax deferral strategy such as the Deferred Sales Trust, the best way to exit highly appreciated assets is tax deferred, so you can create, preserve, and grow your wealth. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.